After a week, I came home and begged and pleaded with him to talk about it, but he won't even acknowledge me. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I Ruined a Good Man. And guys, this story, it's about a gal. She's writing in her story, as per usual, looking for a whole lot of sympathy for a great marriage she completely screwed up because essentially she got bored. Now, I did a story like this several days ago that's pretty similar to this. Girl in her 40s, happy marriage, there's money, no problems financially and all that. Got bored. Screwed up the whole thing by cheating, and then, of course, well, the husband handles things in a way she isn't too happy about. And again, like I said in the other video several days ago, guys, I'm sure you saw that and liked it. You can't make them happy, or at least most of them. They can have everything. Good husband, he takes care of himself, money, the kids, they do things, they have date nights, even if they've been together for a long time. He's attracted to her, he wants her, the family loves him, the list goes on. Nope. And why? Because typically she's bored because he's not bringing drama into her life. She wants the butterflies, the excitement, and everything. And the only type of guys that truly bring the butterflies or the drama are the bad boys. And then they usually cheat, and then they get caught, as they always do, and then go begging husband for a second chance, or so sorry, and all that bullshit. And more I'm noticing in these stories, the husbands are like, nope, not happening. I don't care if you've been married 20 years, we're done. And the women are so shocked, and they post their stories online thinking that somehow magically by posting their story online, they're going to get a lot of pity and their husband will change their minds. Nope. Anyhow, guys, starts off, says here, my husband in my marriage was the envy of many of our friends, and I have ruined it all. We've been married for 21 years, and honestly, it has been a great marriage. We never argue. We spend time together doing everything from shopping to vacationing and supporting my side business. My husband is an executive in the defense industry for most of his professional life, so money has never been a real issue. So when COVID happened, being immunocompromised, I quit working altogether. Being quarantined seemed to bring us together. Then when we were all clear to return to our regular lives, I was approached by my old company to see if I wanted to come back. I was really bored at home, so I decided to go back full time. Really bored. Now, if she means bored with her husband or just bored being stuck at home because of COVID and all that. Probably both. Enter Justin. Justin was a new team member hired over the pandemic, and he and I hit off straight away. I never found Justin attractive in the conventional sense. He's tall, skinny, slightly balding, and approaching 50. Just a very unassuming guy. What I did like was his quirky, dry, almost English style of humor. It was very cerebral. I realized I was mentioning Justin more and more at home just because I thought he was funny and really in line with my Monty Python type of humor. So she's mentioning this dude to her husband. I've said a lot of times before, guys, when women start bringing up other dudes, and particularly a certain guy a lot, that's a red flag. Oftentimes, whether they realize it or not, and sometimes truly whether they realize it or not, that's your replacement. If they see you as doing something to screw things up. In their view, it would be screwing things up. This is why when a guy mentions another woman, her instant instinct is to think that you're hot for her or sleeping with her. Literally, you could be talking to your wife or girlfriend about your day at the job, and you can mention your 500-pound secretary who you wouldn't touch for all the money in the world, and you happen to mention her name beyond just a slight little conversation, and automatically she's thinking that you're fucking her. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you get my point. When guys could just be mentioning the girl who's the secretary at his office with nothing going on. My husband said that he noticed we were communicating a lot outside of work and asked what is going on and if he should be concerned. Husband should be laying down the law, not saying, should I be concerned? I thought it was cute that he was jealous and at the suggestion that he might think anything could be going on with me and Justin. Thought it was cute. You like playing games, honey? I showed him a picture of Justin from the company function and said he's not my type at all. My husband's retort was, he's exactly your type. He looks like all the guys you dated before me. I thought about it and he was right. All the guys I dated before were 6'2" or taller, skinny, while my husband is under 6 foot and muscular, stocky, hairy Scotsman. My husband says be cognizant of boundaries. I offered to show him our text to show him that we're just friends, and he said that I trust you. I need to have trust in you above all. When it comes to men, loyalty is everything. But no, she should not be chatting up with this guy. This is why I say, you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage. Woman doesn't have guy friends. I get in today's age, you got to communicate outside of work for business, everything like that. But there's a difference between a quick response to something dealing with business and texting away on the couch while you're sitting there watching Wheel of Fortune. Okay, no, not going to happen. And she doesn't have guy friends, so she chats with, hangs out with. Not happening. As the guy shouldn't be hanging out with other women, talking to them, or any of that bullshit either. The family becomes the number one priority for both parties. Honestly, I was low-key upset that he would even suggest that I would cheat on him and harbor some resentment over it. Here comes her justification. Watch this. The texting started to increase, and eventually, over the course of a few months, our text turned complimentary and progressed. Gee, who would have ever saw that coming? I didn't shut it down because I liked the compliments and attention and never had any intention of going any further. Sure. Once again, she's confirming the whole attention and validation thing. My husband has always been complimentary of my looks and has always made me never forget that I'm a woman. As you can guess, it went way too far. My husband was away on business, my coworkers went out one night, and Justin was there, and too much drinking, some touching under the table, and we ended up having sex in our house. You were cheating on your husband in your own house. That takes the load to a whole new level. And no, she mentioned alcohol was involved. Not my fault. It was the freaking whiskey. Justin was completely opposite to my husband. He was tender, slow, and loving. I liked the contrast, not necessarily the sex. It was not what I had been accustomed to. We passed out, and in the morning, even though I regretted it, we had sex again. Yeah, I could tell how much she regretted it. She was feeling so bad. I felt immense guilt over it and vowed to not do it again and not to tell my husband. Justin wanted to continue seeing each other, got sloppy covering his tracks, and his wife found out by reading his text. He wanted to get caught. Come on. She kicked him out immediately and told me that she would tell my husband. It's what you deserve. I was afraid that she would contact him on social media, and he was out of the country for work. I logged into his account and blocked her. Though she has the passwords and login information in his accounts. You know, I mean, one could argue that's actually not a bad idea, but still. I knew I was going to have to tell my husband, but wanted to do it face-to-face, not while he was on the other side of the world. My husband came home, and the first thing he said was how much he missed me. The guilt was overwhelming, and I started to cry. Of course. I unleashed the waterworks, and then when she tells him the truth, hoping that he'll feel bad. I told him the ugly truth, that the guy told him I had no interest in, and that he did not have to worry about had sex more than once. Did you happen to mention you did him in your house? His face was a mixture of sadness and disgust. He asked, what are your plans? What are you going to do about it? I told him how sorry I was, and how I cut contact with him, and how I wanted to work through this together. Well, of course, you want to work through it together. You men hurt. I'd be like, what about me? He asked me to leave so that he could clear his head and think about what he wanted to do. I left, and over the next few days, begged him to talk to me, but he ignored me altogether. That is the worst punishment that she could have. He gives her nothing. Because she wants to be engaged. She wants, well, let's be honest, drama. Nope, not saying anything. After a week, I came home and begged and pleaded with him to talk about it, but he wouldn't even acknowledge me. Soon he started engaging me in conversation. How long? How many times? Did he use protection? Where did he finish? Did you disparage me in any way? Did you make plans beyond this? Does his wife know? And would you have told me if she threatened you? I wanted to see your text. I answered them all, even though I knew it would only make it worse. He asked me multiple times, gauging my answers against previous ones. I told him that I would quit work, and he said not to, as I would need a job to support myself. Ready for Niagara Falls. I asked for counseling, and he refused. His opinion was that I changed, not him. If anyone needed counseling, it was me. He's absolutely right. She described in detail at the beginning how great her marriage was, the envy of all their friends. Nope, wasn't enough. Boils down to the attention and validation. So I started individual counseling and reading everything I could about betraying one spouse. I wanted him to read about being betrayed, and he refused. Why would a busy guy like him have to take time about reading fucking books about being betrayed? Guess what? He knows it's like being betrayed because that's what his life is. He doesn't need to read a book about it. He said, when you first told me that you cheated, you said that it was nothing, that I did. So why should I have to delve into an area that only serves your self-preservation? I want nothing more for him to touch me again, but he politely asked me not to touch him when I try. I've constantly been at him for sex, and he just says no thanks. He has said that the issues lie in not that I had sex with this guy, but the betrayal. As his work requires travel for weeks at a time, and now he will just assume that I'm with Justin or another guy. Of course, I tell him that I will never do it again, and he says, you have already proven yourself to be untrustworthy, and your words do not equal your actions. Right there, very logical, And the emotions are going crazy, and I'm so sorry, it'll never happen again. I was like, I can't trust you. You can't have a relationship, any relationship, without trust. We are sleeping in separate bedrooms. He is polite with me, but disengaged, almost like we're acquaintances, not husband and wife. Well, you killed your marriage, honey. Then after about 6 weeks, he kissed me and we had sex. At the beginning, I just wanted to hold him and him hold me, to feel him close to me, but that was not to be. He was not kind at all. He was verbally abusive, calling me all sorts of names, overly rough, and finished without any concern for me at all. I asked him what was that all about, and if you don't like it, go see Justin. The man living with me now is just a shadow of who he used to be, and it's all my fault. You're darn right it's your fault. It's not his fault. He is sullen and rarely interacts with me unless to abuse me or use me for sex. Well, that's what you want to adjust to be used for the sex. I'm at my wit's end on how to proceed. I don't want to leave him or leave because I love him. Yeah, I can tell through your actions how much you love him. I keep hoping that I can say that one thing that can get us back to talking, maybe heal anything to break this stalemate. Well, you better wish upon a star because that's about the only hope you have, honey. I bring up steps and situations that I think will help, and his answers are always flipped back on me. He has not brought up divorce, so I think this is positive. But I don't think I can last too much longer with things the way they are right now. I keep hoping to see some semblance of the man he was before I cheated. I'm broke. How do I fix it? Lady, just like the countless other stories posted online where literally the same things happen just with different people, you can't fix it. It's done. You've broken the trust. I'm guessing they're both in their 40s, probably late 40s or something like that. Maybe close to 50. I don't know. It's done. Now, she doesn't mention any kids, so hopefully they don't have kids because that makes things much more complicated. It's over. Take your medicine. And this guy, and here's the great thing. He's even in his 50s. He's still got plenty of life to live, and believe me, he can still have a whole lot of fun. Does very well for himself. And if he's in his 40s, which means close to my age, he's therefore not old. And he can still have quite the life, and he's still in his prime. She, on the other hand, who's in her 40s, that prime has gone bye-bye a long time ago. She should have really thought things through here. Now for the update. And for an update or for a conclusion that she was certainly not expecting. She says, well, he came home and immediately apologized. He said he was sorry for being so angry at me. He said he was sorry for the way he treated me. He said he didn't like who he became and wanted to let it go in order to get peace back in his life. He said, I forgive you for cheating on me. I was so happy in that moment. Then he said, I forgive you, but I can no longer be married to you. Translation, he's done being angry and hateful and not being the person who really is, so he's forgiving her essentially and letting it go for his own peace, not to make her feel better. And P.S., we're done. Get a lawyer. He said, you are a liar, a cheater, a deceiver, a person who abandoned their moral code for a worthless fling. He said, I love you, but I don't love what you turned me into. He said he has filed for divorce and that I will be served in short order. Nice job, sir. He said he hopes that I wouldn't make it difficult and this shouldn't be looked at in a negative way, but rather in an opportunity for me to find someone I'm more compatible with. I can imagine the one, oh, I want you. He kissed me on the forehead and said he was spending the night at the DT hotel. He'll be back tomorrow morning to work out the details. I was expecting him to ask for a divorce, but the apology threw me off and gave me hope. Then the rugs ripped me back into reality. I decided that I was going to give him whatever he wanted in the divorce if he gave marriage counseling a chance. Oh, for God's sakes. He said nothing could change his mind, but he would attend. We've been living together in separate bedrooms and attending counseling. He's become less stoic as we progress, but has maintained throughout that he will not stay married to me. We are friendly to one another, but not romantic. I'm happy that the guy who I married is back to being himself, even though I know that the days of seeing it every day are winding down. After a particularly good session, we were watching a movie last week, sitting close, and he put his hand on my leg. I burst out crying. I cry a lot. I had a great relationship, a great marriage, and a great husband, and now it's gone. My husband is divorcing me. And there you go. And how many stories can be posted online where some of these people learn their lesson? Well, clearly it's not working yet anytime soon. She's hoping that she can drag this thing out with the marriage counseling, hoping she can get him back. Help him to get a change of mind. And she can see him as, okay, we're sitting there, he's getting nicer to me, he's being his old himself again. We're sitting on the couch watching fucking movies, and he put his hand on my leg. She's hoping. Nope. And I have to wonder, she promised to be accommodating and reasonable and all that, make the divorce easy if he goes to marriage counseling. Well, what happens at the end of the marriage counseling? Like, okay, I've been doing this a year. He says, okay, we're still getting divorced. And she's probably like, what? Is she going to be as accommodating in that divorce, in the promise that you gave him? One has to wonder. I'm going to say probably not. But we shall see. Keep an eye out for updates here. But anyhow, guys, another story of perfect marriage. Everything's going great. And the gal has to fuck it all up because she's essentially not getting enough drama in her life and excitement. Story as old as time. So, gentlemen, you married guys out there, keep your eyes peeled. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.